So, pain in the body. Let's talk about it. Let's dive into it. I actually just recently made a blog post kind of explaining this, but sometimes people are like, I don't really want to read. I want to just talk to me about it. So you can go check out that blog post. I'll link it down below. And this could always be 5 million videos, but we're going to try to, condense this into a short and sweet, just informational video. So pain in the body, right? Like I think a lot of us maybe will trip on something, we'll bump our elbow against something, maybe even have like a serious injury, break something, and we think it's like this physical occurrence, this physical reason. Now this video might be foo-foo for some of us. It might go right over our heads, and that's totally okay if you're like, nah girl, I don't agree. You are allowed to do that is the good news. I just want to bring the perspective of things happen metaphysically before they happen physically. I don't really believe in accidents is what I'm telling you. I don't really think that's a real thing, and a lot of people that study the body on a more metaphysical, spiritual level would second that. Again, no absolute there, but just a perspective. A book that I have to shout out here, it's very popular, so maybe you've heard a lot of people talk about it, is Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. I put so many of my close friends onto this book because it was so, relieving to read. Just when certain things are physically happening in your body and you're just like, yo, what is going on? Why is this happening? Like, yeah, you might eat something weird, but maybe there's something deeper there. Maybe you can't digest something in life. And I know it sounds so like, oh, okay, Casey. But really, though, there's no coincidences. And a lot of times when I really sit and ponder, when I really just kind of sit with the sensation, whatever it may be, I get so many answers, or none. Could go either way. But either way, I receive something. Because no answer is still an answer. So I shout that book out for many reasons. There's a lot to it, but a big part of it that it's pretty known for is the list of bodily symptoms and diseases and sensations and what the deeper root of those may be. Like some of the top ones that I can share that I always find myself like, wow, this is true. Your left side of your body is your womanly, feminine, motherly, moon side. Right side of our body is our masculine, father, son, action, giving side. Sometimes when you may be having issues on your left knee or your right shoulder, maybe there's something to look at there as far as your feminine and masculine energy. Now, a lot of the bodily symptoms are pretty direct and it's pretty no-brainer obvious, but sometimes we want to overcomplicate things and we're just like, no, it can't be that simple though. But sometimes it's really just that simple. Just to run through some of the big ones, like ankles. Any type of pain in the ankles typically has a lot to do with your ability to receive pleasure. Knees always kind of has to do with flexibility or stubbornness. For me, I know, just to share real quick, my right knee, so much of last year was in pain. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm not doing anything very differently. I was detoxing a lot. So I was like, okay, I'm trying to think of all these physical things that were happening. And I was like, okay, this must be causing this and blah, 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 blah. Kind of finally one day I was doing breath work. And I was sitting down just like this, Indian style, and my right knee it was always during breath work too, my knee would just start to scream at me. And guys, the tension is there to get your attention. You have to feel things to heal them. You just have to do it. And I remember one day finally just sitting with it. I just lay there with my right kneecap, which sounds really funny, but I just was rubbing on it and breathing into it and just trying to feel what is up. It felt deep, it felt some ancestral deep ass shit. It did not have anything to do with me going on too many hikes or me detoxing or any of that. I remember just feeling yo, this is old. This is an old wound. And anyway, I'm not gonna say the pain went away as soon as I figured out the why, because I think a lot of times we think that. We think we're gonna figure out the why of something and then everything's gonna be okay. And me personally speaking, that rarely ever happens, but it might make things a little better. And the right being my fatherly side, I was raised around a lot of masculine energy, and empathy was not something I really grew up with. No shade to my family like that, but that's just not the environment I really grew up in. There wasn't a lot of empathy. So it's something that I, in the past, and probably still now, struggle with at times. Just that I can be go really hard on my right side, my right like that logic, and I can be really, really stuck on that masculine energy of like doing, and instead of being. And it's like I felt like I was just like instead of just kind of like facing and feeling to heal, I was trying to cover things up with action and doing and to-do lists. Felt like a deep wound though. It felt like a past soul was like, no girl, don't do this again. We did this in the past life. Like, please don't do this again. So just to share that real quick. That was not real quick, but you got it. Another one, our hips are definitely tied to our parents for sure. A lot of people, pretty much everyone has some type of like hip tension or hip pain, or maybe they're not as flexible in their hips. What else? Shoulders are definitely just like, the weight that we carry. Maybe we feel like we're carrying a lot, of other people's burdens or our own. The back is definitely stability all day long. The lower back, specifically kidneys, has to do with like financial stability and money issues. That's why like not spilling seed, this is kind of going into tantra, but like not spilling seed for the man and even the woman, not as often giving up chi or sexual energy or vital life force energy is really vital, because that directly affects our kidneys, and it definitely ripples into that back pain or then that financial pain. And then I think I've talked about this actually on a Vancast on my Patreon, where I was talking about how one thing basically leads to another. Focus. What's another one? Throat, sore throat, definitely a throat chakra thing. Your ability to express, or like maybe you're just holding on to a lot of secrets, or maybe you're doing too much. It's just a matter of self-awareness. And again, it's not like this equals this, but if you can bring awareness to that space and like kind of listen to it, like what is it trying to tell you? You'd be surprised. And another book that actually goes into a little bit of this is Dr. Afrika's Holistic Health Guide. Is it just Holistic Health? I'm gonna pop it up. But amazing book, incredible, goes over everything, literally goes over everything, from tantra to breatharian to, I think another thing to emphasize here is we're so used to numbing and pacifying when it comes to pain. We just want to immediately not feel it. And imagine if you just felt it. A lot of pain has become so normal to us. We've normalized it. We've just like, oh, it's just a part of me. Like, my back just always hurts during my period, or like, my knees just always hurt when I run a lot. Like, that doesn't have to be an absolute. That doesn't have to be true. There's a deeper thing there. And like sometimes when you spiritually do the work, not even sometimes, every time, man. Every time you do the spiritual work and you tap into spirit, it shifts the physical, because that's where it starts. As you detox, that's like a perfect example. Everybody who's detoxed, or even just like went vegan or cut something out, they're like, my stomach started hurting, I started getting headaches, I didn't really feel well. Here's just the thought. Maybe you haven't been feeling well, and you've just been pacifying it with all of these substances. And now you're finally taking away those substances, and you're actually finally feeling the things that you've been feeling. That is a huge one, man. When I first ever got into fasting, and I was getting headaches, I was like, yo, this is not for me. And I'm like, yo, my head is probably like been hurting, but I just never allowed myself to feel it. Like, I would just do everything in my power to just not feel it, not even realizing that that's what I was doing. You are a magnet. So even if it's like, I just stubbed my toe, whatever, like, you're always attracting, and it's all energy. Everything is energy. And I'm not trying to make your everyday daily life super deep. You don't have to sit there and like cry over your stubbed toe, but sometimes it is interesting to just bring awareness to it. Like, I wonder what that, like, kind of the deeper meaning of that means. Feet, pretty obvious one, but the direction of your life. Each toe definitely has like different organs and different reflexology in it as well that you can look into. Again, if this is like too much for you and you're like, no, I think I just stubbed my toe because it was dark and I couldn't see, then by all means, run with it. Run with that. But just food for thought for food. I love to share. That's all I'm here to do. That's all I got for this video, guys. If there's more you want to know, or you have questions or suggestions, I'm always open to them. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.